I think there are big opportunities for data and getting better at collecting energy data, having more ability to use that data to educate customers, to work with investors, and ultimately to make buildings significantly more sustainable.
You can invest a lot of money in the physical plant, but really the best dollar spent is changing how people operate. And not in a negative way, but creating information in a way that they can positively affect their own use of energy and water and how they recycle and how they manage their waste stream.
Well, it's communicating and be able to communicate in a systematic way about what's going on in your portfolio as a whole. It's really moving from the granular level to the portfolio level, and that's a challenge for companies, because I think companies are very comfortable looking at an individual building, but to be able to understand and explain what they're doing on a systematic basis across their portfolio, that's the real challenge. I think that's the next step.
Education, information. If we put these practices in place, the thing I think we're lacking on and we're identifying now is the portals to get that information to the tenants, to get it to their employees. Because if they can't see the measurement, if they can't see the results you're achieving, it's hard for them to keep the focus.
I really think that the next step in energy efficiency or sustainability is working with tenants. So far, landlords and REITs have been focused on common areas, landlord controlled, but working with tenants is where the real opportunity is.
So you look at a company like Walmart, for example, that started over the last couple of years to move from managing their direct expense for energy at their stores and is starting to go out in terms of upstream and downstream in the value chain. They're starting to influence their suppliers overseas, ask questions about how effectively they're utilizing resources like energy, and then they're starting to move in the other direction, downstream, to their customers in stores, and are starting to engage them directly in a conversation about energy use in their homes. And so I think the logical extension of that into our industry is starting to look at our tenants and starting to look at some of our vendor partners, those types of vendors who provide services, valuable services for our properties, and starting to understand, once we move outside of what's directly in our direct line of sight, what types of opportunities may reside with our tenants.
I really think the next phase is transparency. A lot of companies are doing things on a responsible basis, but you don't see a lot of formal reporting from listed companies and other companies that are in our industry. So I think as politics and things move forward and regulations and the awareness is driven forward, you're going to see a lot more requirement to be transparent and to report out based on what your results are.
Owning and managing a large portfolio is really great in that once you make a decision, you're actually capable of implementing it at a whole scale. When we decided to do green cleaning many years ago, we decided and then we did it, and it impacted our entire portfolio. And I feel like the same could be applicable here, where we figure out what the top 10 things that we really thought worked well and then be able to do it everywhere.
We focused on the environmental piece of sustainability, and now we're really looking more into a total package of environmental, social, and governance. So in our reporting efforts that we're starting this year.
As we move forward into the future, that renewable energy becomes something that becomes more normal and not just sort of an unreachable target. I really hope that the industry and as technologies continue to evolve, that that renewable energy really just becomes a part of our everyday business. And I really think that over time, we're going to see a migration over to water. I think that it's water's cheap, and we can use a lot of it, not really feeling ramifications. But I think that eventually, we'll start to see that. Especially, I think over time we've seen so many crazy weather patterns and things. I think if we see more droughts and floods, and I think it's going to impact our water usage over time.
I think we're going to see more wind within the building sector. I think cogeneration, and additional solar, whether it be on the roof of an industrial building or in the parking lot of an office building. I mean, I think a lot of that still has a long way to go to really get it where we need it to be.